Good morning and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Tuesday to everybody. The clouds are still here. I don't even know what to say about them anymore. I genuinely don't. And the fog has joined in, and that prompted a dense fog advisory for many areas this morning. By the way, this morning's forecast made possible by the United Way of Northeast Louisiana and their 211 initiative. United Way, NELA's 211's nationally accredited, so you know that when disaster hits, the information is reliable. The clouds are still here. And again, low clouds are like that annoying family member at a holiday function. The one that says repeatedly, we should be packing up and heading out now. And so you go and wash the dishes in the kitchen thinking that when you're done washing dishes in the kitchen, they'll be gone, and you come back and they're still there. And then they're like, oh, all right, we should probably get a move on. And then you go to the back room or go to the bathroom or something like that, hoping that when you come out of the bathroom, they'll be gone and they're still there. It's the clouds. That's what low clouds do. And as you take a look at the infrared satellite, low clouds, again, are a forecast buster. I mean, they will absolutely ruin a forecast. You sprinkle some clouds in when you're not expected, it may impact the daytime high by 1 to 3 degrees. If low clouds hold in your forecast and they don't move out when expected and you get low clouds instead of sun, your daytime highs can be off sometimes by 8, 10, 12. I one time, this was many years ago, but I distinctly remember I missed a forecast high by 18 degrees because of low clouds. 18 degrees. So that's essentially what's been happening. They will eventually move out today. When? I said that yesterday, and they didn't. I think I said it the day before, and they didn't. That's how frustrating and how stubborn they can be. They leave when they want to. I have a clicker now. Good morning to Susie and Janice. Thanks so much for stopping in. This will be a pretty abbreviated look at the forecast. I'm sleepy. The normally well-adjusted sleeping toddler got up at 3:30 this morning, and she wanted to party, and so we did. She crashed back out for a little bit between 5 and 7, but if you have a toddler or you've ever had one, you know how those days can be. They wake up when they want. They're like, let's roll. And you're like, all right, I guess this is happening. Check of the radar made possible by Brown's Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Nothing doing around our area, but the fog has been an issue. It's been a weird morning, and I'll get to the temperatures in just a second because, again, this is a pretty abbreviated look at the forecast. There's not a whole lot happening for the rest of the week. Good morning, Becky. Visibility's down to less than a mile, less than a half mile in many spots across the western counties and parishes. So if you were headed west this morning or you were headed out and about in the western counties and parishes this morning, please exercise caution. Dense fog advisory was issued. We were actually had a freezing fog advisory out, not for our area, but for portions of southern Arkansas and the Arklatex region earlier this morning. Temperatures got above freezing, so that wasn't an issue. Then the fog really started to increase. So a dense fog advisory was issued, I believe at 10 till 6 this morning, somewhere in that ballpark. And so it's been out for a little bit now. Obviously, exercise caution if you're out and about because the fog will be an issue, especially, again, western counties and parishes. El Dorado, Ruston, westward, especially as you go to Magnolia, Homer, and over toward the Shreveport, Bossier area. It could be pretty gross this morning. So, again, exercise caution. Gloria, Ann, Anethea, Carolyn, good morning. Thank you so much for joining in. And hello to May. Have a blessed day as well. Look at low temperatures unofficially for the day, and this is where it got weird. Last night, we saw the skies clear briefly in Camden. They dropped down to 30 by around midnight or so, and then the clouds and the fog rolled back in, and temperatures warmed back up, and they're back into the mid-30s. These are unofficial lows for the day. Most of us have climbed at least a few degrees from those low temperatures, and again, we're in the upper 30s, mid-30s in most locations this morning. Again, Camden was about 30 at midnight, and then back up to 36. As the clouds and the fog remain stubborn across the region. Dew points, again, air's pretty much saturated in most locations, low to mid-30s. As we go through the day, the sunshine will eventually win over. Obviously, winds are fairly light. The light winds are okay for fog formation. Once you get above probably, I'd say, 6 or 7 miles an hour, maybe in the 8 to 10 mile an hour range. Then you start mixing the air up enough to the point where fog's not that big of an issue. Good morning, Leanne. But again, I would expect visibilities to be pretty crummy for at least the next hour or so before things start to improve. Futurecast, how much stock you want to take in this? Obviously, in terms of initial sky conditions, all the computer models have completely stunk in terms of the low clouds. But again, low clouds they're just a forecast buster. They mess with the model data. They just do what they want, and they are the honey badger of the atmosphere of our planet's atmosphere. They just do what they want. And so they just completely throw a wrench in the forecast until they stop doing what they want. Eventually, skies will clear as we go through the day. The sunshine wins over. Again, there's just too many factors working against the clouds. They've eventually got to go. A weak boundary moves through the area Wednesday morning. I expect it to increase cloud cover a tad, but it probably won't bring rainfall. Beyond that, high pressure sets in again briefly ahead of another boundary that will move in this weekend. Could bring some showers in the southern parishes. I'm not confident enough in it to really bring the rain chances back into the forecast yet. Hopefully, as we get more morning data in that 10-11 range that I talk about so much, we can talk about that a little bit more at length and maybe have a better idea of what we're dealing with rain chance-wise. But generally speaking, most locations are looking to stay dry. We will trend cooler at some point. That cool down that we've talked about for so long and that you've heard so much buzz about on social media is, again, looking rather muted for our area, at least in the short term. That could still change. We will trend cooler, though. Early parts of next week, end part of the weekend. Until then, it's going to be quite nice, actually. We get back into the 60s for several days. Mid to upper 50s today. Sunshine eventually. Good morning to you, Ethel. Winds will stay light out of the south or eventually shift to the south. We'll get the sunshine in here eventually, folks. I just keep looking outside going, there it is. No, it's still not there. Overnight lows tonight, not quite as cold as they were this morning. Most of us near 40 degrees under clear skies as the winds continue to pick up out of the south. With the northerly and northeasterly winds or the light, calm winds, you're going to see temperatures fall off pretty quickly. But with the warm transport of Gulf air into the region, temperatures should be at least a few degrees warmer tonight. Could still see the upper 30s in some spots. Breezy southerly winds push us into the 60s for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We are eyeing a cold front this weekend, and what it means to our temperatures for the weekend and beyond. Again, I have a lot of skepticism into just how cool we will actually see them get in our area. But there will be, like I said, what we call the 12Z models. We'll get all of that data out here in the next... I didn't want to mess with that forecast too much, obviously, because in the last 2 or 3 hours, I really haven't had an opportunity to look at the latest data. I did glance at it before we got in here, and like I said, it wasn't enough to really change the forecast. But that 12Z model suite that we get, that's kind of the big information dump, if you will, and we get to go through all that stuff this morning and really refresh the forecast. But I really just don't expect to see a lot of significant changes. And that's what we got for this Tuesday, December 9th. Time for me to kind of ratchet up the Christmas shopping. But forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. Too Long Didn't Read, set to come out about 9:30. I'll join you for a midday stream. That, like I said, forecast will be completely refreshed at that point. Like I said, I just made some small tweaks here and there. Made some tweaks last night, made some tweaks this morning. So, again, slightly different, but not much. And so we'll really kind of do a full facelift on it later this morning and see what we've got for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Thanks so much for making the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank, part of your day. Again, I'm a little sleepy. When toddlers rage, we all pay the price. Or at least I pay the price. You guys didn't pay the price. I'll check in with you later today. Good morning, Claudia and Steve. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. And as always, thanks so much for being here This does not work without you. And we'll check in with you later today with another look at the forecast. Enjoy your Tuesday. Be careful on the roadways, especially west where the visibility is pretty crummy. And we'll check in with you in a few hours.